You know, I forgot last week on the spreadsheets to show the side where we're to set up the income side. We just did the expense side. So there's another spreadsheet that we should do for the income side, and it's a much simpler sheet. And maybe we'll just do that really quick right now before we get started on today's stuff of setting up the accounts. Let me see here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and do this by memory real quick. Which one is it? Calendar. Wait a second. This one is what I want. Okay.
Commercial.
Share screen.
I don't know why this phone's right there. Yeah, Susie went away and then, oh, there's a spreadsheet.
Did you see the spreadsheet? Okay.
Thank you.
So I always put the date in the first column. And then put the amount. And then the source. And then I put down, for me, it's, I'll put down health insurance, Medicare, life, coaching, photography. I think that's it, unless I end up selling some stock or something like that, so miscellaneous. You can set it up however you want to. I mean, whatever makes sense for you. But the main thing is to put the date, put the amount that came in, put down who it came from, and then you put your little X's. I'm pointing with my finger like you guys could see it. You put the little X's in whatever category it goes to. Yeah. So that later on when you're wanting to, you need all this information when we do the budget. You don't, mainly the first 3 columns is what you need for the budget. But then later on, you're going to want to see all the different breakouts for different sources. So not meaning by different vendors, just meaning by different streams of income, whatever your different streams are.
So would mine be like different customers? I'd be writing the customers' names down?
No, you would just do that under source.
Okay.
But for yours, you just have the income from the store.
Right.
So it's from sales, unless you do something different. Or you could put one from store sales and one from, I guess they're all sales.
Yeah, they'd be all sales.
Yeah.
And then if I just had a personal, I'd throw a personal in.
Right.
Okay.
So if you do something else,
okay,
go pole dancing or something and you get paid.
As I do every Thursday. So one other question too is, do I have to separate, like if it's check versus I take in like Visa cards, or just?
If that is important, if that makes a difference for you, then do that. I mean, that sounds like it could make sense.
Well, just because there's different, like checks, of course, are no charge or fees to me, but like credit cards are.
Uh-huh.
Would that matter?
So that sounds like it would be a good idea for you to sort that out.
So sort, like, okay. All right, like cash, credit cards, checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then it'll be easy for you to find the information you need when you're going to look for something.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go on.
I had one other question I remembered was about, so your debt payments that you make, those don't go on either one of these.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll go on your expense
Okay.
chart they go on your expense, and
Okay.
then under the vendor, or I think it was under vendor, you put down the name of the the credit card company,
Mm-hmm.
and then under the item, let's see, the second column over, what was that? Is this a regular spreadsheet?
Date,
No,
expense.
that's not it. Yeah, under expense. Under expense, put down that it's a credit card payment, and then under category, put debt payment.
Okay. Thank you.
So that all of your different kinds of debt payments, if you have a car payment or something like that, you can put it under debt payment. I mean, you can categorize it as debt payment.
Got it.
Okie doke. So moving on then to, let's see. Has anybody started tracking their expenses yet? No, okay.
I started doing other things.
No.
Good.
It's so scary.
Well, now, today we're going to talk about setting up your accounts.
Where'd you get that graphic?
Online.
Okay.
She stole it.
You look so professional.
Well, you'll see the rest of them don't look quite as professional because the rest of them I did myself.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I didn't do them. Actually, I stole them, but I set it up myself.
Okay.
Is it just you two or what?
No, there's a couple of other people. There's on here today, you mean?
Yes.
No, it's just mostly me and Sandy talking.
Oh,
But,
okay.
My name's Robin, and I'm here too. Hi.
Hi, Robin.
Hello, Robin.
And my name is Susie. I'm here.
Hi,
Susie.
Susie. How are you?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
We're okay.
Okay.
Welcome to therapy.
I just keep muting myself because I'm eating chips.
Thank you.
Good. I'm hungry.
So I'm on my 5th day of a fast. Of a
Wow.
my fast.
Why?
Wow.
Because those 7 pounds I gained in June, I had to take them off in July. So,
Don't they call that June gloom?
nah. Okay, so the important thing is keeping your accounts separate, your business and your personal accounts.
Right.
And one of the reasons that we want to do that is if you ever get audited by the IRS and you don't have your accounts separated, that's going to make it harder for you because they're going to look at you askance and they're going to raise their eyebrow, and then you know that this is going to be much worse than you wanted it to be.
Well, you should just do that anyway, for any business anyway, right?
Absolutely. Yes, you should. And it also, because then it helps you to keep better track. And we're going to go beyond just keeping your accounts separate here. We're going to go a little bit further than that. We're going to start with personal accounts. And see, here's where we have my graphics.
Cute.
So some people, when they look to see how much money they have to spend, they have a tendency to look in their checking account to see how much money there is.
Cute.
And so for those people, and for that reason, I'm breaking it out into different accounts. So we're going to look at setting up 6 different accounts. It sounds complicated, but it's not so complicated, really. And it's part of helping you to remember to pay yourself first.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to make sure that you're sticking to a budget and you're not just kind of haphazardly doing stuff and then not setting up for your future. And when we start looking at the numbers and what to put in each of these cookie jars, I want you to not be overwhelmed in thinking that this is something you have to do immediately. Think of this in terms of this is the goal. So that said, the first cookie jar is going to be daily expenses. So when your income comes in, this is going to be a checking account, this cookie jar. So you're going to put your money, all your income is going to come into this one account first. And then we're going to send it on to the other accounts. Oh, I thought I got rid of that. Okay, so there's the daily expenses going into the first cookie jar.
Hello, Melissa.
The second cookie jar is going to be for short-term savings. So you want to put 10% of what went into that daily expenses, put it into the short-term savings account. And this should be a savings account that is separate from your first account, one that's not so easy to just move the money back and forth. So ideally, if it's in a different bank and it's not connected, that would be great.
Okay.
And you can, because what you're going to do with this one is, this is where you're going to start to collect your peace of mind fund. Remember we talked about that in the first class? We talked about setting aside money in a peace of mind fund, which some other people would call an emergency fund. We want to have 5 months worth of expenses
Yes, dear.
in that fund. So if you just put 10% each month into that fund until you get your 5 months worth, and then you can stop worrying about putting it in there for that, but then you can start to label it for other things that you want, like your vacation in the Bahamas or whatever. Oh, why does it keep doing that? I don't want it to do that anymore. Okay. The next cookie jar is the long-term savings account. This is one that's going to be like your retirement account. You might already have one started up. If you have an IRA somewhere set up, that could be your long-term savings. Or if you're with a company that they have a 401k that you're contributing to automatically, that can be your long-term savings. If you don't have either one of those set up yet, it would be a good idea to set one up somewhere. And if you can set up, I mean, you can start out by just putting the money into some kind of a jar at home until you feel like you have enough to go open an account for. And you can always ask me about that, and I can help talk you through that, some best ways to set those up, or places to, depending on how much money you're working with. But you want to start doing that as soon as you can. And even if you can't start out putting 10% aside because of the way your daily expenses are right now, start moving towards that and maybe just put $1 a week aside or something like that, so you get in the habit. So the next one is going to be the fun jar, and this one is really important to have. This is money that you're going to spend every month on yourself, on something that's fun. This is your party jar. And it's really, really important to have this, because if you're like being really tough on yourself with your expenses and you're not giving yourself some freedom, that would be like if I stayed on this semi-fast that I'm on all the time. I would go nuts. So you have to have some fun. It's like because otherwise if you're on a diet and you don't make space for you to have some emotional eating,
Cookies.
eating this to feel good, then you won't be able to stick with it. So it's also, that's like when we talked about in the beginning, emotional spending. This is your fun jar. This is your emotional spending. You should spend it every month. And the most, if you were saving up for something fun that you wanted to do that took 2 months worth of fun money, then that's okay. But don't go more than 2 months without spending it. Just even if it means just you buy yourself a glass of wine someplace. Okay, and then the next one is education. 10% for education. Education is really important because it keeps your mind sharp. It can be education as far as sharpening your skills in whatever business you're in. It can be like increasing your knowledge in that area, or it can just be something for fun for you, like taking a language class and learning Italian or something like that. But it's really important to just keep growing and keep your mind active. And the next one, come on, cookie jar. Oh my goodness. That animation thing was something that I was just playing with, and I thought I erased it. Apparently not. Okay, and the last one is for donation. And this one should be 5%. I know I have some friends that like to give a lot more than that, but they're shorting themselves on their retirement planning and their long-term savings. So keep it to 5% on the donation unless you're a Scientologist and you have to give 10% or whatever it is that they have to give.
Mormons.
Mormons.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you don't have that religious restriction, just keep it to 5% for now. Okay, so this is the way to save up all of that. Now, this is your personal stuff. So none of this stuff is coming out of your business expenses, right?
Uh-huh.
Like what?
Like your
It's not coming
savings.
out
and
of my
stuff.
business expenses?
No, it comes out of what you pay yourself
Oh, yeah. Okay.
out of your business.
I keep forgetting to pay myself.
So food and cookies, huh?
What you pay yourself.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for the pay yourself accounts, which we're going to look at next, that animation will stop. Come on. Okay. So now, instead of cookie jars, we have piggy banks because it just seemed more business-like. So for the businesses, you're going to have 5 accounts again. The other one was 1 checking account and 5 savings accounts. This one is going to be 2 checking accounts and 3 savings accounts. So your first piggy bank is going to be where you put all the revenue that it comes in. You put that into the checking account. The next one is going to be for profits. And so you're going to have money that goes from your incoming revenue account into your profits. That'll be a savings account. And then your next one is going to be for your owner's pay. So your profits and your owner's pay, do not confuse those. Those are going to be 2 separate accounts. The next one is going to be for taxes, so that you don't get hit with that big tax bill at the end of the year. You should be putting aside a portion every month to go towards paying your taxes. And then the last one will be for operating expenses. And so this is also going to be the other checking account, because this is where the money is going to get paid out of. Do not pay your bills out of your incoming revenue account. Pay it out of your operating expenses. So 100% of the revenue is going into your incoming revenue. 5% of it is going to go into your profits. 50% is going to go into your owner's pay.
Which is what exactly?
That's your paycheck that goes into your personal account.
Oh, that I'm paying myself?
Yeah. And then 15% goes towards your taxes.
Now, should I keep this separate from a quarterly sales tax, or? Because I have quarterly sales, then the end of the year taxes. Should I just put that in as a tax account?
Yeah, do it all into that one tax account.
Okay.
Is that not an operating expense for
The taxes?
the sales taxes?
Oh, sales taxes, for when you're spending your sales taxes, that is an operating expense. But she's collecting sales taxes. So she has to put those in a separate account so she doesn't spend them.
Got it.
Okay. And then And operating expenses is going to include any payments you make to employees.
Would that also include like rent, utilities, that type of thing?
Yeah, all of that.
Okay.
And so the reason that we want to take the other stuff out first, we want to take out the profits first and put those aside, because people who take out their profits from what's left never have anything left.
Yeah.
So you want to take out the profits first. You want to take out your pay before the operating expenses as well, to make sure that you get paid, because you have to pay yourself a regular paycheck in order for you to be able to budget your personal expenses, so that you know what your income is, so that you can pay your expenses out of that. And same here, like with the other one. I don't expect you to be able to set this all up right away. This is something that you work into.
The goal.
Yeah, the goal. So this way you know what the goal is.
So I have to retrain myself completely, and everybody else out there, I'm sure, to think about paying yourself first before anything else. And I'm sure everybody doesn't think that way.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is why once you start thinking that way, then you will start making more money without actually doing more work or feeling like you're doing more work.
What's the percentage you pay yourself?
50%.
50%. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You take 50% of your income, and you
50.
like, let's say you earn 100, then you pay yourself 50.
Right. It's of your incoming revenue. So 50% before any business expenses come out.
And that you can use to pay expenses, or just have
Pay
fun
your
with?
personal expenses.
Personal expense. Okay.
So yes, that goes into that first cookie jar.
Okay.
So the operating expenses part, this is so that if you're visual, you've taken out all the other money first, and then you can see what money you have to spend on your business will be in that last account.
Boy, this is complicated.
So what is the process by which, so incoming revenue comes in here to the first cookie jar, and then your owner's pay goes into a savings account, but then all of that immediately goes into your personal checking account?
Yes. And so what you want to do is make it be an automatic payment to go from that savings account to your personal checking account.
Okay.
On a regular basis. So
Where does that come from
as
again?
the money comes in, you're breaking it out. But with the pay, like some people pay themselves monthly, some people pay themselves twice a month, some people pay themselves weekly. I pay myself weekly because the amount is not that huge, and so I need to know there's money coming in every week. If you have if you're set up differently so that you can have it come in once a month, like people who have Social Security checks coming in, those are just coming in once a month. And a lot of people on payrolls get paid twice a month. Whatever works best for you. But for me, it has to be weekly. And I have to do it automatically because I forget to move the money over otherwise.
Why do you have the two separate, why do you have the savings in the business account and then also the checking in the personal account? Is that just for tax purposes if you get audited?
Say that again?
So I'm wondering, like this owner's pay, I'm using my thing as if you can see my screen, which you can't. The owner's pay piggy bank account, isn't that the same? It's exactly the same money as is in your personal daily expenses account.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So that's,
I guess it's actually, no, it's this money in the owner's pay goes into all of those other accounts in the personal accounts. Those personal accounts come from here.
this owner's pay goes into, let me see if I can go to this owner's pay goes into this first account.
And then I take that out of there to put in the other 10%,
Exactly.
10%, 10%. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the owner's pay flows into here
Okay.
out of your business.
But what is the? Why wouldn't you just go set up a
Checking
The-
account and put it
the-
directly
the-
into the checking account?
Yeah, yeah. Why wouldn't you just have your piggy bank income go straight to your checking account, personal checking account?
You can do that.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just asking because this is so far beyond me that I'm just so I am absolutely willing for there to be a reason. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, you can just do that. You can just set it up so that it goes directly from your so that
Business income too.
yeah, goes directly from the incoming revenue into, and think of this as being that checking account for your income, your personal income. Right. Yeah, daily expenses one. So this is basically that one.
Okay.
Once you put you pay yourself, the rest of the income is to pay your expenses, right?
So once you pay yourself, the rest of the business income, you mean?
Yeah, let's say you're not doing a business and you're just having some income coming in for the month. But so you pay yourself 50%. So the other part of that money is supposed to be used to pay your expenses or your bills, like whatever.
So if you
call it.
don't have a business and you just
Right.
you have the and you just have the income, the source of income from a
Right.
job or something like that, then
Right.
then all you need is this setup here,
Okay.
the personal
So
account.
I'm still pulling out 50% of what I'm getting a month, right?
You're pulling out from what you're getting. You're going to be using 55% of it to pay your expenses, but you're gonna be
Or
putting
bills, whatever you need to, like food or groceries or
that comes
rent.
out of that comes out of daily expenses.
Okay, but that's still out of the 50%. I mean, that's still away from the 50%.
You mean the 55%?
Yeah, the 55%. I mean, the 50% is already in my bank account, and the other 50% I'm using to pay my rent, my groceries, whatever I need to pay.
So you're talking about the business accounts.
Yeah, I'm more on a personal level because I don't have a business. So my income is from the government right now. So if I'm getting government money, $13.98 a month. Let's say I get 1,000.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking 100 out of there. I'm taking half of that, 1,000, putting 500 in my personal, and the other 500 has to go for expenses.
So what are you using your personal for?
To live on. I don't even put
So
a
what's the
savings.
difference between what money to live on and your expenses?
I just live on. I just do it in one. It's not a credit card. It's on like a card they give me, and then I just take my money out of the ATM to live on. I don't put anything away because I don't have a lot of money per month.
So the money that you get, does it all come in on that card?
Yeah, once a month only.
Okay, so you're not actually right now taking out 50% and putting it somewhere else.
No, I can't. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So what you want to do though is, are you able to take money off of that card and put it into a savings account?
I can. Oh, sure. Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you can start taking 10% of that money and put it into a short-term savings, do that. If you can't put 10%, if you can put 5%, do that.
Yeah. And per month, right? 10%.
Right. Right.
Okay. Anything's better than nothing right now.
Right. Yeah. So put something in there. Make sure you're also taking something out and putting it for fun.
Okay.
Okay. Even if it means $5.
Okay.
buy yourself something for $5, but just make sure that you put something as being for fun.
Okay, in a separate account, in separate thing, yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you can use, you know, you can use envelopes if you feel like bank actual accounts don't matter for you right now or are not a good idea. But the other thing you want to look at when you're setting up all these accounts in general is you want to be able to set up these accounts for free. So make sure that the bank that you use or the credit union you use, more likely credit unions are going to let you have as many savings accounts as you want to, and there's no charges and there's no minimums.
Okay.
So that's the kind of setup that you want to look for. You don't want to be paying anything extra for having all these different accounts.
Yeah, I know. Banks charge you. I know.
Right. And you want to be careful of certain banks like Wells Fargo, which will tell you that you can set up the account for free as long as you do an automatic transfer, and then they change the rules 3 months later and they're trying to charge you again for your account. So
Which they do.
yeah,
Susie, what banks do you consider?
Well, she said use a more of a
Credit union?
credit unions.
credit unions are good. Yeah,
What credit union would you recommend?
I've looked at different ones. I mean, one of the ones that I looked at was called Golden One, but there's, if you're in entertainment industry, you can use First Entertainment. There's a credit union, I think Connecta is in Woodland Hills.
How do you spell that?
Connecta, K-I-N-E-C-T-A.
Okay.
And there's also online banks that are good. I use an online bank for some of my accounts because they have checking accounts that they actually pay interest on. and decent interest, like over 1%. So I think there's one called All America. I think that's one of the ones that I'm using.
Connecta was K-I-N-E-T-T-A?
E-C-T-A.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was a good tip.
You're welcome.
Happy.
Sorry, that was me.
That's okay.
Let's try to be nonchalant and get Bobby's attention.
We're passing it up.
Okay. Yes.
So then I'm glad that Susie asked that question because, as you mentioned, this is the goal. So then the sort of steps toward that goal, if you do have a business, what's the first step would to be create the business income checking account, I guess, incoming
Yes.
revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I'm sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
and then what would the next step? And so what would you put the next step then if you're starting from not very much income to start with, but I do need to separate it, business and.
Yeah. Then the next one that I would do, if you're going to use your own personal account for the money to go into your personal account, that's good. The next one that I would do then is put the outgoing account for the business. So you have the incoming and the outgoing.
And that outgoing expense, those two. So start with the checking accounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you want to start to set it up so that the money that's coming out is coming from the outgoing one. And part of the reason for that is that in my experience, if something gets messed up with your one of your billing things, especially if it's an automatic payment, and it takes out a whole bunch of money for something, certain things start becoming outside of your control when you have automatic payments going on. And this helps to keep the money from all getting sucked down. You can hold money back in your incoming account instead of having it get sucked into a black hole vacuum if something goes wonky with your with automatic payment things that you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. And then make sure that you start paying yourself right away for whatever it is that you need to cover your expenses.
Right.
So what I was going to say is this is kind of a long-term goal at this point. We should just take all these percentages and tips and monies and accounts and just do them slowly to get into the habit of this.
Yeah, I would say your goal should be like a year from now.
Okay, that we should be pretty much set up with everything at that point.
Yeah.
And occurring that amount.
Yeah, being able to get close to at least hitting something going into every account.
Right, something in, but at the end of the year, do you think that we should be close to that that goal of 55% on the daily expenses, or
Yeah.
we should just be introducing these practices in a year?
Well, you should be able to at least get the business ones set up, because that money, you need all that money to go to those different places.
Right.
So you should have all that should be able to get set up first.
Okay.
Then the personal expenses, that's going to be, that'll take some people longer than other people.
Okay.
Yeah, to get it down to where 55% is covering all your expenses.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's not how we're used to living right now.
Yeah.
So probably none of us are doing that yet.
Yeah, that seems like exorbitant amount.
Yeah, but that's where it would make most sense if we're going to have our lifestyle that we want to have in our future. Then this is what we need to be looking at.
Future.
Yeah. This is what we need to be doing now in order to have the future that we want to have.
Right. Okay. Retraining myself.
Yeah. It's good to do.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our society teaches you how to spend more than save.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. It's so, I listen to Bloomberg Radio in the mornings, and when people aren't spending money, they get all upset. And they say, how do we get people to start spending again? And I'm thinking, no. It's good that people are saving.
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing, not just being consumers so that business does well.
Right.
It's the creditors who want you to do that.
Yeah. So that's the lesson that I wanted to get across today. If when you're thinking about this will go up on the on YouTube as well, and I'll send you all the links for this if you want to look it over again. And if any questions come up for you during the week, feel free to send me an email or a text. And also, if while you're setting up your tracking sheets, feel free to contact me about that stuff. That's a little more complicated and more immediate. So
Great. Thank you.
And very right-brained, right? Or left-brained. Which way does that go?
It's kind of left-brained, but it's good for right-brained people to do because it makes it all easier to understand in the bigger picture.
Because it really, our brains aren't trained this way. A lot of us.
Yeah. So I had to set it up for myself to make things clear for me because I am right-brained.
Yeah, so this is just making us. This is forcing us to get structured.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here and participating.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It really is teaching me discipline, that I have to be more oh God, discipline funny way looking at it, being more left brain. This is difficult.
Just paying more attention is what it is, because you're just not used to it. It won't be that difficult once you start doing it.
Then it will become habit at some point.
Right.
It takes 21 days, they say, to change a habit.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes longer than that. Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the habit.
Exactly.
So take yours. Okay.
All right.
Okie doke. Thank you all. And
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, ciao.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel.
All right.
Right on.
Right on.
Bye-bye.
See you,
Bye.
Sissy.
You're welcome. Bye.